Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. It's Miss Morton again, and we're going to be doing reading again. So, we've been talking about the 3 different ways to read a book. The first way to read a book is, let me hear you, read the pictures. You practiced that yesterday. The second way you're supposed to know how to read a book is by reading the words. We also, Miss Morton did that yesterday with the Recess Queen, didn't I? I read the words to you. And the third way to read a story is to retell it. So we read this yesterday, and today I'm going to tell you what happened in the story without reading any of the words. I'm going to retell you what happened. So I'm not going to use the words, I'm just going to use my memory and what I remember from the story to tell you the story. All right. So from my memory, I remember that this is Mean Jean, and she is the Recess Queen. She likes to do everything first. She is in charge of the playground. She doesn't let anybody else do anything before her. It's not very nice, is it? All right. And she would push kids and all this other crazy stuff out of her way so she could do whatever she wanted on the playground. And she would laugh at kids, and she would be mean to them. But then a new student came, and she was super teeny tiny, and everybody thought she was a scaredy cat. But when that recess bell rang, she didn't know the rules. She didn't know there was a Recess Queen, and she ran out that door, and she was swinging, she was kicking, and she was bouncing. And that made Mean Jean angry, so she pushed kids down, and she was running after Katie Sue back there, our new friend. And she yelled at her, and she tried to tell her the rules of the playground. But Katie Sue didn't listen. She said she was bossy. And Katie Sue went back to playing. Mean Jean didn't like that again. She ran after her again. And everybody was super scared. And then Mean Jean pulled out a jump rope. And Katie Sue pulled out a jump rope and asked Mean Jean to jump rope with her. And Mean Jean was so surprised. Nobody had ever asked her to play before. But Katie Sue kept singing a song asking Jean to jump with her. And another friend yelled and told Jean she should jump. And so they ended up jumping together. And they got in a little bit of an accident. The jump rope got tangled, but they still just laughed. And then Mean Jean was happy, and she jumped roped all the time, and she had friends. She wasn't Mean Jean anymore. And her and Katie Sue were good friends. So that's how we retell a story. I didn't use the pictures. I didn't read the words. I just used my memory and remembered what I read yesterday to retell the story. So that's a pretty cool book, huh? But we shouldn't act like Mean Jean when we're playing with friends, should we? It's probably not very nice. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the difference between letters and numbers. So letters are what we use to write with. That's how our words are made up of letters, and we use words to write, or letters to write, my bad. Numbers we use in math and counting. So our letters are in the alphabet. There's some of the alphabet strips right up there. And our numbers we use to count with. So I'm gonna hold up some flashcards, and I want you to tell me, I want you to say out loud, at your house, I want you to tell an adult if it's a letter or a number. I'm gonna tell you. 2. Is that a letter or a number? That's right, it's a number. I. Do we use I in our alphabet, or do we count? That's right, it's a letter. 8. I'll give you time to tap, tap, tap your chin and think. 8 is a number. G. Is G in our alphabet, or do we count with G? G is in our alphabet, it's a letter. What about 11? Is 11 a letter or a number? That's right, it's a number. Z. Is Z in our alphabet, or do we count with it? It's a letter. Good job. A. Is A a letter or a number? A letter. And 5. Do we count with 5? Or is 5 a letter? Do we use 5 in words? No, 5's a number. Good job. All right, I'm gonna read you one more story today. It's called Too Much Glue. Our art teacher says, too much glue never dries. She reminds us, glue raindrops, not puddles. And she warns me, Maddie, too much glue. Look at all that glue he has all over his hand. So when we're using glue bottles, we don't need a lot of glue. A little bit of glue goes a long way. We don't want puddles of glue, we just want raindrops of glue. But my dad and I love glue. At home, we make glue glasses, glue mustaches, and even glue bouncy balls. Mom is happy to help. Look at all that stuff they made out of glue. They have glue bottles, they even have a hot glue gun over there. There's lots of different types of glue. So during art class, I find the fullest bottle of glue. I tip them over and squeeze, plop. Glue squishes from the orange tips and flops all over. Sequins and googly eyes float around in the gooey lake. Then it's time for the most important decoration. Look at all that glue he is using. That is a big puddle of glue. Geronimo! I belly flop onto the table and roll around, letting the glue and everything else cover me. Look, he belly flopped. And now he's in the glue. That's probably not a very good idea. Time to go to the drying rack, I announce, and when I try to pull myself off the table, I boing right back down. Too much glue, Maddie, too much glue, my teacher squawks. This is bad. There's only a half an hour until the end of school, and all I can do is lift my head, and wave my hands, and wiggle my feet. The rest of me is blocky, stucky mess. Can someone help me? I call. He is stuck in his glue. Yuck. While my teacher breathes into a paper bag, Noah shouts, "Let's lasso him!" Izzy, Noah, and Owen get to work. Soon I'm roped from all sides like a rodeo pony, but when they try to pull me out, snap! The lassos break, leaving colorful octopus tentacles everywhere. The glue is too strong, and now I'm clingy, stringy, blocky, stucky mess. Look, they tried to lasso him, and they got him lassoed, but then all the lassos broke. He called them octopus tentacles. Don't worry, Maddie, we know what to do, shout Luke and Grace from across the room. Is that a tow truck? I ask as they wheel the contraption over and stick a plastic hook into my suit of glue. My friends pull one way and the glue pulls the other. Creak, click, creak, click, until... Kaboom! The tow truck explodes and plastic bricks rain all over. Now, I'm a clicky, bricky, clingy, stringy, blocky, stucky mess. Oh no. Do you think they're gonna be able to get him out of the glue? I hope so, or he's gonna be glued to that table all the time. The school bursts in and checks my temperature. 98.6, sorry, no fever. I can't send you home early. She dabs and pats at me like spilled juice. But the more she blots, the more the glue spreads. Soon, I'm a melted mummy, clicky, bricky, clingy, stringy, blocky, stucky mess. Then the principal comes in. He takes one look at me, sticks a note on my belly, and leaves. Seeing my teacher huffing and puffing and like a train gives me a great idea. I whisper it to Haley and Owen. The final bell rings and everyone freezes, except Owen and Haley. I wonder what his plan is. There's his principal. He left a note on him. Let's find out what their plan is. It's the biggest one we could make, they shout, furiously flapping a huge paper fan at me. Then, just as I'm thinking, I'll be note on my tummy, melted mummy, clicky bricky, clingy stringy, blucky stucky, glue boy. For the rest of my life, my plan works. Something my teacher said could never happen, happened. The glue dries, but I'm still stuck, and now I hear footsteps, and the door starts to open. Who do you think's opening the door? Let's find out. My father and some carpool parents walk in. Dad comes closer and inspects me. Then he peels me off the table. Glue, yarn, bricks, and all. He spins me around and no one makes a sound. Then Dad smiles. Maddie, you're a masterpiece. He holds me up for everyone to admire. My friends all cheer. So we got him off the table, but he still got all that glue on him, huh? The car ride home is interesting. Look at all that stuff flying off him from the car. My mom is speechless when Dad brings me in the house, but he knows just what to do. Well, kiddo, Dad says, some beautiful things can only happen once, and then this is one of those things. He gently grips the dried glue in front of my neck and behind my collar and peels me open like a ripe banana. There he is, peeling all the glue off. He told Maddie it can't happen again. Sometimes things only happen once. Now it's Dad's turn to glue. He seals up the sides of the me-shaped work of art. I bet it would take all the glue in the art room to make a U-shaped work of art, Dad, I say. Dad laughs, then he glues a big magnet to the back of my project and hangs it on the fridge. During dinner, we sneak peeks at my masterpiece, and after dinner, look, he glued his masterpiece back together, and there you can see it hanging on the fridge. It's a masterpiece. See what they did after dinner. We take the principal's note very seriously. The note said, please encourage Maddie to use tape instead of glue. And there they are playing with a bunch of tape. The end. So our story talks about the right amount of glue to use. At the beginning it said to use raindrops instead of puddles. So while this is kind of a silly story, we really don't ever want you covered in glue. We want you to use a little bit of glue because a little bit goes a long way. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a piece of paper and write your name and ask Mom or Dad or whoever's there with you for some glue and maybe some macaroni noodles, some pebbles from outside. And I want you to trace your name in glue and write your name in whatever little objects you have. It could be little beads. It could be little pebbles, little macaroni noodles, whatever you can find that's small. I want you to write your name, trace your name in glue, and then put your name. It's called a mosaic. I want you to try that, and I want you to send a picture of it to your teacher. Okay? Have a good day.